So welcome to the third class we have. Now, before we begin, I let me be clear. I know you had some comments, and I've been taking them into account to try to make this not even as fun as possible, but that you actually have the time to work on it, and that you have the time to learn. Which leads us to the second thing. This class I made once I had reviewed all of your works from the previous class, which I will not grade. And the reason why I'm not going to grade it is because I realized that we need to work a lot into how to make graphs, because without knowing how to make graphs, or without having the graph itself, you cannot make the rest of the activities, which make no sense. And this is why I'm not going to grade it. Don't worry, you're not going to lose that time, because all you did actually is going to be useful today, but I'm not going to grade that one. Let's assume it was like a pre-formative. I wanted to check how were your knowledge in graph, and especially in making graphs in Excel. So today's class is basically going to create the same objective, but not all of them, only the 1 and the 2, which is tables and graphs. So all the class is going to be about making good tables and making good graphs. And for this, you're going to use part of the information you did last time, and you're gonna have to collect a new information, new data, using basically the same procedure with a slight difference. So you don't have to do all the same, but you're gonna have to use the same tools, the speedtest.net. You're gonna have to use either your computer or your cell phone, and basically you're gonna have to try to figure out how the download speed changes. So the idea and why we're making like this stop in the road is for two reasons. The first one is because I need you to understand what is going to be the summative assessment, so you have so you see the connection between all the classes that we've had and the ones that are to come. The summative assessment for this term is going to be an idea or a product to improve the Wi-Fi signal of your house. So you're going to come up with something, and you're going to come up while we are having the classes for you to try to test and say, I think I have the one that is going to improve the Wi-Fi signal, and you're going to have to use it. And you're going to have to show me with the test, like the ones we're conducting, if in fact your idea worked or not. And you're going to have to analyze why did it work or not. So that is the summative assessment. And it's just that in order for us to get that point, this is what I'm trying to build. We're going to talk a bit more about what is Wi-Fi, how does it work, which we saw last class, just the basic part of it. And we're going to continue experimenting with Wi-Fi signals as how they behave, for you to start thinking, okay, if I know how it behaves, maybe I can use this specific thing to make it stronger. Okay? And just because it is really important that you think about it, all of this, and this is why I focus this unit in terms of Wi-Fi and something that you could play around in your house. This is the whole objective, that you're able to play around. I'm going to make you disconnect the Wi-Fi, mess around with it, so we don't feel like you have to be always in front of the computer. And also because I need you to start thinking about the privilege that we as a community have in terms of not having to think about connection. We're going to have, next class, we're going to talk about this a bit more in terms of it's not common to have internet in Colombia. So don't take it for granted and think that the fact that we're able to have class online is not the common thing. So let's use it and get something out of it. So today's class, you're going to have 4 tasks. Now, thinking about the time, because I know that you had time issues with the time. I needed to check the proposed time. These are the times that I think is going to take you. So if you think about it, it's not going to take, none of the tasks that I thought about is going to take you more than 30 minutes. And I need you to use this as a reference, so if you know that you're spending more than half hour in the first task, there's something wrong in terms that you need to start going to the other one so you don't have to be working until late. The first task you're going to learn, or you're going to remember, because I know we've talked about it, we're going to remember something about variables, what is independent and dependent, because without them you cannot make a graph and you cannot make a table. You're going to watch a video. Based on that video, you're going to answer a Kahoot. After that, you're going to have to see 3 videos which are no more than 3 minutes each that I did as tutorials, all about how to do them in Excel, because from what I saw from last class, many of you had the ideas, but the graph you presented didn't show that understanding. So this is why I made the decision. I took the decision of saying, let's have like a huge feedback and let's go slower. You're gonna know, and I want you to use it as a guide. You're gonna know how to use the basic Excel graph system. You're gonna know how to add the elements, all the things that go around the graph, and the most important one is how to interpret a graph, because this is basically, this one right here, is one of the things that I'm going to grade. And here you're going to have to make your graph following these recommendations using the data from last class, so you don't lost the time before. Now, if you don't have it because you deleted the file, you have it in Aula Virtual and you have access to it because you sent it to me. The third task is you're going to have to gather data using almost the same procedure as before. It means what I already said about speedtest.net, measuring the distance from the router, but I changed one aspect. So whenever you get here, you will have to read the procedure again. This is why it's called following instruction number 2. It's not the same. Basically, you're going to have 30 minutes to go around your house collecting the data. Again, it's almost as the one you collected the class before, but it's not. It's different. And at the end, you're going to have to make only objective C1 and C2, which is a table and a graph. Now, just so you know, on each one, I tried to make the introduction of the task. I added my voiceover. It means that if you don't want to read it, not every time it's the same as it says right here. Sometimes I just go improvising, but I added an audio so you can just listen if you want while you start doing something else. Okay, and just one thing, girls, remember to put and upload whatever you do in these boxes so I know exactly what to grade. Many of you in the first class didn't write things here. I need all of them to be complete, otherwise the grade is going to be affected. Okay. For the Kahoot, here you have the pin or the link, and for the Kahoot, don't worry, you can do it whenever you want. It's not like a time that it opens and it ends. Whenever you have time, just start logging and answering the questions, okay? So as you see, every single instruction has like my voice into the introduction, and if you click right here, you're gonna have the links for the videos. And at the end, just one thing. Whenever you're getting to the procedure, check this one. I try to make as clear as possible what is going to be the different thing from before. But if you look at it, it's almost the same thing. That's why it shouldn't take you more minutes. And again, 30 minutes. You shouldn't take more than 30 minutes to present a graph, a table and a graph with all the things that we're going to see this class. And each one should have the interpretation. Okay? So have that in mind. These 3 boxes at the end are the ones that I'm going to grade. And if you need exactly what it has to have, you have the evaluation tool. So I hope this was useful, and if you have any questions, just like last time, right now I'm in Teams waiting for any specific question. If you don't, well, begin working, and don't forget to use the forum, and don't forget to be specific in the forum, because I know that many of the questions that you ask, many of you have, but I don't know why you don't ask. So I hope this worked, and I'm going to have a survey at the end to see what things work, which ones didn't, so we can still improve class after class, okay? Bye.